Oh, wait, who's doing the intro? We didn't decide. Welcome. We'll
You do it. Oh, okay.
It's another episode of
Giggly Witches.
I'm Sadie.
And I'm Pam.
It's the Halloween episode. My ears keep disappearing if you're watching, but here they are. I'm very proud.
Very nice. They're made of braids.
They're made of braids. I'm a cat. Soy un
Meow.
gato. And Pam, what are you?
I'm a skeleton.
I don't know skeleton in Spanish. I forgot. Oh, wait. No. Calavera? Maybe? Anyways. I'm working on it. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to learn Spanish. But we're going to talk about Samhain, which to this day, I still want to say Samhain.
Samhain.
That's how it's spelled. That's Samhain.
I don't know him. Yeah.
And I gathered some intel about Dia de los Muertos. They're very connected, which I think is cool. There's a lot of cultures around the world that celebrate the dead this time of year, which I think is just a testament to how very real what am I trying to say? Like the fact that the energy is consistent with like spirits coming through easier. The veil is thinning.
Yeah. That's cool. I got some info. I've been trying to tap into like family history and ancestors and things. And so I got a bunch of info on Slavic paganism at this time of year.
I'm excited to talk about it. Yeah, so when this episode comes out, it'll be Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And November is Samhain October 31st or November 1st?
It's like sundown
of okay.
October 31st to like sunrise, I think, of November 1st.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Dia de los Muertos is November 1st. Well, it's actually like 6 days. I learned about all these different days that I thought I could share.
Yes.
I have to find the notes.
Oh my God.
But
I keep getting I sent you a couple of them, all of the dogs and the pets that are sitting at the altars, and they're just like, I spent like all morning yesterday just crying.
It's so yeah, so it said
cute.
that the first day is October 27th, and that's when the pets come to visit. So it's like different days, they say like different souls are arriving. So it's like they're coming through the veil and they're here on like our plane, I guess. So yeah, October 27th, I'll share it now, is when your pets come to visit. And it was so crazy. So one of the videos Pam sent me was like a mama cat that lost 2 of her kittens, and on that day she had put a little toy on the ofrenda, the altar that her humans had. And then another one was like a dog just like staring at the altar.
Oh my God, so
I was thinking of Max since he passed away, last month. I was like, well, Max is here. October 27th is when your pets come to visit. October 28th is when the first candle is lit and a white flower is placed to receive the lone souls, which I think is so sweet. So any souls that no longer have living relatives, or maybe didn't even really have family when they were alive, just they don't have somewhere to go, quote. So the lone souls come, they arrive, and people light a candle for them. And I think that's just so lovely.
Really
it just
cute.
Makes me like, we're so sweet, us little humans. The second candle is lit and a glass of water is placed dedicated to the deceased, forgotten, and helpless. That's the 29th. The 30th, a new candle is lit, another glass of water, and pan de muerto, which is bread, is placed for the deceased who left without eating or those who had an accident. So that's today. Or no, that's tomorrow at the time of recording. I was just talking to my new friends I was like, oh, I learned about the new days. Like, and so basically anyone who passed tragically, like in a car accident or, I don't know, drowning or anything sort of sudden and tragic, they have like a special day that they arrive. The 31st is the day for our ancestors, our great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents. Um, and they turn on another candle and more water and add fruits. And then November 1st is All Saints Day, the date when the little angels arrive. Little angels. The souls who died as children.
Oh,
And all this day on all the food is set on the altar. So the little souls that were taken too soon have a special day. And then November 2nd is All Souls Day. The souls of the deceased adults come to collect the offerings their family placed on the altar for them. And incense or copal is burned, and the path of, I'm going to say this wrong, Kempasuchil petals to guide them to the altar. And then at midnight, I think they said on the second, like, or I guess that would technically be like the third, that's when they like all
go
head back
back.
home to the spirit world.
We should watch Coco.
I know. I don't know this morning. Honestly, I think I'm just feeling like the energy arriving. And I literally woke up this morning. I haven't watched it. I haven't been listening to the music. I can't because I cry a lot. It's like not like I'm not like sobbing like in grief a little bit, but like it's just like so sweet. The Remember Me song gets me every
Oh,
time.
yeah.
Requiem. But this morning I woke up, I opened my eyes, that song was playing in my head, and I just started sobbing. And I felt like my mom was here, like really, really strongly. And this was the strangest thing. My door, I was still in bed and my door like popped open. I don't like
Hello?
it just popped open, and it must, I don't know, it must not have been latched properly last night or something. I don't know, but it like it automatically locks when I close it. You need a key, and it just like, so maybe last night I just didn't like latch it properly, whatever. But you just have to close it and it locks. And I was crying, and then I still had my curtains closed and stuff. It was dark in here, and I saw more light come in, and I was like, what? And it was because my door had popped open. Isn't that strange?
That is weird.
And I'm like, either I spent all night with my door a little bit open, or a spirit is here, and probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But it was so crazy. I just like the second I was conscious, that song was in my head, and I just felt my mom. I started crying, and then my door opened, and like light came into my room, and I was like, oh, that was
That is really weird.
weird, but it felt nice.
Yeah.
Um, that's like those are the days
I
of Dia
love
de los
that.
Muertos. And I also learned, I don't know if you've seen like they've been in some of the stuff I've been sharing in my stories, but the orange marigold flowers,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's all over everywhere right now. I've
Yeah.
been seeing trucks that are like completely full of these flowers. It's the most magical thing ever. I've been trying to like whip my phone out and get a thing of it because it's just these like it's incredible. There's thousands and thousands and thousands, probably millions of these beautiful golden, they're marigolds, I think is the
Mm-hmm.
name of them. Um, and I learned today the reason that those are what they use on the ofrendas or the altars, and everywhere, is because Mary, monarch butterfly, me
Yes.
accidentally slipping into Spanish. Wow, I was like, Mariposas. Monarch butterflies are attracted specifically to that flower,
Mm-hmm.
and they believe that like the scent of it also helps the souls know where to come, but that also the butterflies are like sort of bringing the souls with
Yeah.
them. And I think everyone knows now, like butterflies are like what my mom specifically told me she was going to visit me as before she passed, and it's my sign from her. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's just, and there's butterflies everywhere here right now. It's crazy. Like when I go for a walk, they're just like circling
Everywhere.
around me. Yeah. But that's why they use those marigolds, is because they attract butterflies, and
Mm-hmm.
butterflies are what sort of like help guide and bring the souls here. And I was like,
Love it.
so beautiful. I
It
love
is
it so
so
much. I'm
beautiful.
so happy I'm here, and I'm so happy extended my trip longer here because I was gonna leave like 10 days ago, I think was my initial. And I was like, what am I doing? I have to stay for Dia de los Muertos. And yeah, and I made a friend who invited me to go do like real Dia de los Muertos in the cemetery with his family and like actually experience it. So I'm so excited. I'll report back next week. But and like, I shared about my mom. He was like, oh yeah, like he's like, you'll meet my grandparents, I'll meet your mom. And like they're just so it's like they're really here. It's not symbolic. It's not,
Yeah.
oh, we're just remembering them. It's like, no, they're really here and we're gonna drink with them and eat with them and eat with them and talk with them and just, because like he was like, oh yeah, you can meet my grandma. And I was like, just to be clear, she's dead? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, this is a witch's dream. Somebody talking to me like this, like, like, oh, you can come meet my dead grandma. Like,
yeah.
So happy I'm here. So I'm really, really excited and I'm get to continue to like learn more as I get to experience it the rest of this week. So stay tuned on my Instagram stories if you want to follow along, because I'll definitely share everything I'm experiencing. But I'm just so happy and excited that I manifested another friend that invited, because I was like, dear universe, I would really like to go with the family to and then a few hours later I made a friend that invited me and I was like,
amazing,
that's manifesting. We did it. So I'm very excited.
Yay.
Wait, we went right into it.
I know, we didn't do any silly goofy.
Do you have some silly goofies?
I have one thing that I just like kind of wanted to share, and then I have a question.
Okay, I'm gonna sit like this for a little bit because I like my ears and I want them to be there. Yes. Let me try to listen better.
Let me tune in.
My headphones up here.
My first thing was just that I read at an event on Sunday. I did a bunch of readings and it just was like, I don't know, like everybody that sat with me like was so into it. It just went really well and it felt so good. Like, and I don't know. So I just was like really excited about it because it like, when like you go to events and you're like reading tarot or reading cards or whatever at an event and you're like, this could really go either way. Like everybody could either be like,
people are there to like be like, this isn't real, I want to test you, or they're just very like blank and closed off and you can't even read. You're like, you don't believe in it. Like when somebody's energy is excited and open, it's just genuinely easier to tap into their energy.
Yeah,
you have no idea who's going to be there.
Yeah, so I don't know, it went really well. Everybody was really open and excited and it was just like really exciting. It helped like that little bit of like imposter syndrome, be like, oh no, like I am really doing this. Like this wasn't like stuff I was just making up because I don't know any of these people. And
right.
I was getting like, anyway, so that was fun. And then, thank you. And then my question, because I was watching Harry Potter yesterday.
Crying.
It's because Sirius died, and that always got because he like they're fighting and like not Harry and Sirius, but they're fighting the Death Eaters, and then Harry like does like a little battle thing, and Sirius goes, "Nice one, James." That always really gets me. And then like immediately after Bellatrix,
and they just were like, hey,
we're just reconnected, like
have this life, whatever. It's like
so it always makes me really sad, but anyway, so yes, I was crying. And then I was like, and Hedwig's next. Like actually I think Fred is not next. Anyway, that one is rough, but I do like when he gets his like ear blown off and George is like, oh no, wait, that's George gets his ear off and Fred is like, how are you feeling, Georgie? He goes, holy.
I was always like as a kid, I was always so in love with the Weasley twins because they were so funny. They're
so goofy.
Like that's who I always had a crush on. Was Weasley. Both of them because they loved it.
Yeah,
Silly goofy right there. Yeah.
silly, goofy epitome of.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so my question is Harry Potter a Christmas movie?
Great question.
Because I think it is.
I mean, I think like it's not really my thing to watch those movies around Christmas, but I will always respect anyone who wants to say it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, absolutely. I
Yeah.
think whatever makes you happy in the holiday season. I don't think of it. It's not one where I go, oh, but it is a good I feel like when I'm in wintertime, cozy vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when I want to like marathon watch like Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like I don't know. There's something about being like it's like cold outside, there's nothing else to
Yeah.
do, cozying up with some like hot chocolate and good snacks and just like binging those like sort of epic series.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think for me, it's definitely like a winter season thing. It's not something I'm gonna like binge in the summer when it's nice out.
Okay, fair. I
You know what I mean?
yeah, I will
I
also
don't
do that. But there's always
necessarily
like a
think
Christmas element.
Christmas, but
Yeah.
there is Christmas time.
Yeah,
But they kind of, I mean, they have like the whole school year, so there's different things.
they do. They do. But I'm always like, oh, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Um,
My Christmas movie that everyone likes to like kind of jokingly fight about if it's a Christmas movie or not, but I love it, is Die Hard. I love the
oh
movie
yeah.
Die Hard. It is so good. I watch that every Christmas. That's a Christmas
That's
movie.
my Christmas movie. I haven't seen that in a really, really long time.
Oh, it's so good. It's so epic. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, what's your silly goofy?
Well, I was having trouble thinking of it, but I just thought I would ask you what is your favorite or funniest or silliest or just most epic Halloween costume that you've done before? Whatever category you want to go with. It could be funny, it could be really cool. I don't know. You just your favorite thing.
Um, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever done a lot of really cool, fun Halloween costumes. I feel like I always go like an easy route. Like I always paint my face like a skeleton. It's usually different every year,
Yeah.
but skeleton is always my go-to. There was one Halloween that I have like a Minnie Mouse onesie, and my friends and I went to like during the, or maybe it was the night before Halloween, but we went to Disneyland, and we were there like right as Toontown was closing. And I think like because I was like dressed up, the guy, like the cast member was like, "Do you want to meet my boss?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And like we were like the last ones to meet Mickey for the night, like before like they like closed Toontown and he like goes to.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun.
That's cool. What about when you were a kid?
I was Mulan a bunch, I think. And because I love
Love
Mulan.
a bunch. I love that.
Yeah, I loved Mulan. There was one year, this is also a Disney story, but there was one year when I was dressed up for Halloween as Mulan, and then I guess like maybe later that year or something, my family lives down in Orlando, so we would go all the time. And um then they did like one of the parades, and Mulan obviously is waving to everybody, but to me, she was waving to me. And my mom was like, she knew that you dressed up as her for Halloween and she wanted to say hi.
You're like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah. Um,
Oh.
so that was fun, I guess. I don't know what else. But yeah, what about you?
When I was a kid, I had a very specific system because I loved being a witch for Halloween.
Of
So I would do
course.
it every other year, and then I would try different things in the in-between years. But when I was a witch, I was like, Mom, you have to paint me completely green. You have to put one of those prosthetic noses on me. You have to put warts all over my face. Like I wanted to be a scary witch
Yeah.
every year. And my mom would be like, can you be something cute like a princess or something? And I'd be like,
No.
no. I want to be disgusting and scary. And I shared it the other day, but I have the funniest picture of me dressed as a vampire, and I look
Oh, I did a vampire too.
so crazy. I have like really big vampire teeth in, and I have all my hair tucked up into like a beret hat. Why? I don't know.
He's
I
French.
look like a boy, like a beatnik vampire. And I remember I was really like, I
I
was
wonder if
not.
I could find my
I don't ever
vampire
remember
one.
wanting to be when I was little, I was really I really wanted to be a boy. Like I had brothers. I thought my dad was so cool. Like I was a very like I was a tomboy through and
Yeah.
through. But I never really like I didn't dress girly. I didn't, which is so funny because now I'm so like I love makeup. I love dresses. I love getting my nails done. I'm so feminine now. But when I was little, I was like, I don't want anything to do with any of that girly stuff.
Yeah.
So lame and uncool. So I always just wanted to be like weird, ugly costumes.
This was me as Mulan and
Oh,
the
we have the same
little I
things.
do.
I was thinking about this as a silly goofy actually. Whenever Pam shows me pictures of her in times of her life that she didn't have bangs, I am literally am like, who is that? It's like the Zoe Deschanel effect. Like if you ever see
Yeah.
her in something
Clark
that she
Kent.
doesn't have the
Yeah.
bangs, you're like, oh, like you like how she's an elf. I'll be like halfway through the movie and then I go, oh yeah, that's right, that's Zoe Deschanel. That's so crazy because she's got blonde short hair and it's totally not her typical typecast character, you know. That's how I feel about Pam. When I see pictures of her with no bangs, I'm like, who is
Who
that
is that?
woman? I don't know who that is.
This was my
I have no
vampire.
idea.
I did have like my face painted and everything like afterwards, but I guess in school we didn't do it for that. But look at the whatever this is.
Oh, I thought that was like the background. That's literally one of those. I had that too in mine. Oh my God,
So
that's so
funny.
funny.
I
I
don't
wish we
see
could have
what
been
that is.
friends when we were little. That would be really fun if we were kids together.
How that would have gone.
And I want to find mine,
So
but
funny.
we should do like a carousel post on Instagram.
Yeah.
Giggly, which is Instagram. But
I
yeah,
have to
I
find
love
that.
that. So cute. That is that is my silly goofy. I wanted to ask you about your favorite Halloween costumes. Yeah, I just always loved being a witch. As an adult, my go-to is a zombie. Love
Mm,
doing a zombie.
yeah.
Um, and probably one of my favorite costumes I did was Freddie Mercury, which if anyone has been watching my stories, I shared these last weekend when it was like Halloween weekend and everyone was dressing up and going out and stuff. I was like, "Oh, I miss my friends."
Yeah.
Because
I
Halloween is
thought Halloween weekend was
so
this weekend.
I know it's weird when it's like a Thursday. I would think it would be after. I was surprised.
Yeah.
But like Halloween, I don't even go out very much anymore. Like back in the day, I was always partying, but they're just like everyone being dressed up, everyone's so silly.
Yeah.
Nobody like sometimes when you go out, like people just need to be cool or whatever. Especially like when I lived in LA, so you go,
Yeah.
everyone's too cool to talk to each other, everyone whatever. But Halloween weekend, when everyone's in costume, suddenly everybody is friends, everybody's goofing around together. It's just a completely different energy, you
Yeah.
know? It's just fun and people are crazy. Um, so I was having FOMO for Halloween weekend.
Halloween
Like,
weekend.
oh, I just want to get drunk with my best friends.
We would
In a
always
silly costume.
go to WeHo for Halloween. That was always really fun. Did you do that? For
I
non-LA people, that's West Hollywood.
we so we usually we would try to do one night of like a house party because that was
Mhm.
like fun
And
and
easy,
whatever
cheap.
and easy. And then we would go to I can never remember the name of the bar, but it's an 80s bar and you go in through the refrigerator. Do you know what I'm talking
It's
about?
70s and it's fun times, good times at Davy Wayne's.
Yes.
I loved it there. And
I
I
think at
saw,
Halloween time they did it 80s because they
uh,
had every once an hour like every hour they would have Michael Jackson the bar goes down into a stage. It's crazy. And then they would have like a zombie Michael Jackson come out and do Thriller with a bunch of dancers. It was so cool.
It's
So
so
that's where
funny.
we would go for Halloween a lot, was
That
specifically
place
that bar.
was so close to where I used to live, so it just yeah. And I saw, do you know who I saw there? This was like my one celebrity sighting was
Ooh.
Dean Thomas. I don't know what his real name is, but Dean Thomas, the guy that plays
Harry Potter.
Yes.
I don't know what his real name is too, but oh my God.
Yeah, I saw him there and I was just like, oh my God, it's Dean Thomas. And the girl, because that's when he was in How to Get Away with Murder. And so it was like one of the girls from that and him. And I was like, oh my God, it's Dean Thomas.
Wow.
He's so tall.
Really?
So tall. I'm gonna look up after these. Well, let's find out what his real name is.
Dean Thomas, actor.
Alfred Enoch. He's 6'4".
Wow. He's British Brazilian.
Mm.
He's a cutie.
Yeah, he is cute.
This episode is sponsored by our love for Dean Thomas.
Thank you, Dean Thomas.
Shout out! That's awesome.
Should we talk about Samhain?
Yes, let me open back up my notes. Okay. I want to learn. Yeah, you take it away.
Take it away, Ernie. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. That's literally one of my favorite parts of all the Harry Potters, and I can't, if ever somebody's like watching it with me, like I can't not say that line. Like that's one of the ones that I was talking about Chamber of Secrets, not Chamber of Secrets, and Sorcerer's Stone, when he's like, I like this bowl. Like that.
I like this bowl.
That is literally one of mine, where the like on the night bus when they're like, yeah, take it away.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be a bumpy ride. And then he's like, guys, why the long faces when they like go in between the buses?
I always like that part because it's silly goofy too.
So silly.
So silly.
Anyway, so
teach us about Samhain.
Samhain, like we said, it's spelled like it would be Samhain. It is not. And it's the evening of October 31st into November 1st. And obviously now it's been like Christianized when Christianity took over, and it's like All Saints Day and All Souls Day.
Yeah.
But I think it literally translates to summer's end.
Okay.
And it's like a marking of the new year. Like this is like their new year.
Yeah, because some people call it the witch's new year, right?
Yeah. And so it's one of the like Sabbaths on the wheel of the year, if you know, like the like pagan wheel of the year. And it's like that's like the big turning point, which is like why it was like the new year. Because it's when the light part of the year goes away and it turns into like the dark part of the year, and it's the end of the harvest and the preparation for winter and the colder months. It's a time for like protection work. It's a time for abundance work. It's cord cuttings and rest is like really it's just gonna be an asshole.
Say rest.
It's gonna be an asshole and be like, am I boring you?
I'm really tired. I've been doing a lot lately. I'm sorry. I've been waking up. I feel like all the spirits coming to Mexico City have been waking me up all the time. Like,
no, here too. I like it's just I keep waking up at anytime like between 3 and 4, but then every morning I wake up and I am awake at 5:55. And I'm like,
oh, interesting. Yeah, I've been waking up at like 2 or 3 every night, and then I can't go back to sleep, and then I wake up at like 7, which is 7's like normal for me. But when we're awake for like an hour or two in the middle of the night, then it's like I need to sleep more.
Yeah.
Anyways, you said like it is the time to rest, and then I started yawning, and I was like, oh well.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a time for rest. Because it's like when the earth rests. I
Yeah, it's
actually,
like things going into hibernation. And
yeah,
it's like, yeah, like we celebrate like ancestors, we celebrate those that have died, but it's also like when the earth is dying,
resting.
and
Yeah.
like it's a natural time for us to like go inward, which we talked about for the Scorpio season
Hmm.
about that, or that was on our IG live.
I
It
was
wasn't
gonna
on
say I don't think it was on a episode,
Come to
but
our IG lives on Tuesday nights
yeah.
around, what time do we do it? 7
7.
Central-ish.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're a little late because we're recording, but around 7 Central-ish. But we were talking about Scorpio season and how it's like going into the underworld. But like, yeah,
Hmm.
it's very it's like the days are getting shorter. The leaves are falling from the tree, the plants are dying. It's and so we can think of, it's a really great time for us to like allow parts of ourselves to die that aren't
Yes.
serving us, or just it's time to, not even that they're not serving us, but it's just like not time to like surrender and accept and like
Let it go.
let it go, let it
Yeah. Yeah.
go.
Um, I actually saw this thing that was talking about this study where these like scientists, I think, injected a bunch of trees with something that would be similar to adrenaline for us.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you about this or did you see it?
No,
And
but I saw it, but I don't really remember the whole thing, but I remember watching a TikTok about this or something.
yeah, and so they wouldn't go into hibernation.
Yeah.
And so the trees like, never like went into their night time and they ended up
Mhm.
dying all of them within a year.
Yeah.
So it's just like very one, it's really interesting, and two, it's really symbolic because it's like, okay, like that is such a
That's
big note
us
for
too.
us to take. Yeah.
And I think like and taking that in a very like and keep surviving, if we keep hustling and whatever all year long, or whatever that means to you, but like on a spiritual level, like we will lose ourselves, like
Yeah.
our spirit will die if we don't rest, we
Yes.
will lose that connection, we will, it's like it's so important. And how I like to kind of view this time of year, and it's not that you can't like go through your like see little moments of like hustle and whatever during winter, like that's not true. Like we still, I mean, especially like I think, I don't know, I think we're probably 99.9% women here. And most of us are menstruating. So if you do have those like when I'm ovulating, I'm like hustling, like that's how I just naturally feel. So we have our like monthly seasons regardless, but it's like winter, like having our period as our monthly winter.
Hmm.
That's so important. Um, and this is our seasonal, but I always like to think of this time of year like one, like, yeah, I want to think about the intentions I set for this year. And if there is something I want to put a lot of energy into to like really honor, like I said I was going to do this year. I said I was going to reach this goal, whatever. Like that's great. You can do that. But when the like winter is sort of calling you and like the new year is approaching, and as a society, we tend to want to like make big goals and hustle and whatever. That's more like spring equinox is when we want to
Hmm.
start taking that shit off. Like Aries season, oh my God, like mwah, so much energy when Aries season comes around. I could
Yeah.
like literally rule the world during Aries season.
Yeah. Well, that's the
That's
astrological new year.
astrological new year. Yeah, it makes so much sense. So I like to approach the sort of, I guess we'll call it Muggle New Year, Society's New Year. These last few months of this year, the first few months of the new year's, so end of 2024, beginning of 2025, as like it's the winter season. So like really exploring like what do I really want? Who am I really? What do I really want to heal? Like it's still a beautiful time for like new beginnings, but in a very introspective way. And
Hmm.
I love setting new year intentions like on the like, you know, December 31st, January 1st, whatever. But I always, that's sort of like this, I think Samhain marks this moment in time where it's time to like sort of like shift the energy from what can I get done to like what do I want to get done, and like really
Yeah.
really get really clear, and like really really like this is such a beautiful time to just like really go into your like spiritual self, I think.
Hmm. Yes, it is. It's a really like, and that was like traditionally it too was like a really powerful time of like divination and looking into like the future and
Yep,
all
yep.
that stuff. Um, but yeah.
I love us talking really seriously with this. Like I have like whiskers maybe on my face, and you are like, yep.
Yes. Mm. Um, but yeah, they I mean, they still do this in some places, but they used to light bonfires for protection on hilltops, and then like you would extinguish your hearth in your home, and then everyone would relight their fires from like the community
Mm.
bonfire. And it's like a big like symbol is like it's very symbolic of like starting anew. It's for good for protection.
Mm.
Um, like big community aspect. There's lots of like offerings for different spirits. You leave food and drinks inside your home, outside your home, or like in your sacred spaces. Um, and like one thing we still do is dressing up, and that's where it started, is because we would dress up to like scare away malevolent
Malevolent.
thank you, malevolent spirits. Or like confuse and trick them so that they
Confuse
wouldn't.
them, yeah.
Yeah.
They wouldn't know if you were like one of them
Yeah.
or yeah.
And so that's like where that started. And now obviously it's like a silly goofy, we dress up anyway.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. But I always loved that. Like I think it's really
Ghosts,
yeah,
vampires, chickens.
chickens. I don't know why that came out yesterday. It just like was the first thing that came out.
Yeah, Pam and I were talking in the DMs, and I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but if you said any like if you said the word Halloween or typed like the word Halloween or anything sort of Halloween related, it would turn the text orange and put a little pumpkin on it.
Hmm.
And so I said something to Pam and it did that, and she was like, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And I said, "Oh, it does it automatically when you say Halloween stuff." And then I sent like a separate message that just said the word vampire and then just said the word ghost, and they both did it. And then Pam responds with chicken.
I don't know. It just popped into my head. Straight from
This
brain to fingers. I just,
tears in my eyes, and I was on my like little daily walk, so I'm by myself, and I'm like crying laughing walking in the park with all these people around, and I'm by myself, and I just can't stop because it was just such an insane thing to say.
I don't know. It just
No,
came.
it's classic, the really
The
classic
Halloween
Halloween
chicken.
costumes: ghost, vampire, chicken.
Chicken.
Exactly.
That, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Oops. Just smudged that. Was it bad?
I know, I keep wanting to like touch my nose and rub my eyes. It's okay.
Well,
Well,
yeah. I mean, what else do I have written down for Samhain? Today's rituals.
mm-hmm.
Um, most people will do like candles or a small fire, like
Yep.
in their home now. You can also hold like a dumb supper, which is a silent meal where a seat and a plate are saved for your ancestors.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously we all still dress up. You can create an ancestor altar similar to the ofrendas that Sadie was
Yep.
talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that's so interesting. Like every, even like in all the like Slavic paganism that I was looking at too, their theirs is called um I'm probably gonna butcher this, so if you are familiar with Slavic paganism, I'm sorry. But it's like Dziady, Dziady.
Uh-huh.
I always put like an Italian accent on it. It's like Dziady. It's like Dziady. But in theirs, like you still have fire, you still have plates and empty seats for your ancestors. You do
Yep.
the candles. It's still on um they have two. One is in the spring and one is in autumn on November 1st. So it's like this time of
Yeah,
year, everybody does it. Even,
everybody's doing it. Yeah.
yeah, in
I looked up.
Italy, it's like obviously all Christian and Catholic, like Christianized, but they have like Onisanti, which is All Saints Day, and La Festa dei Morti, which is All Souls Day. And
They also
it's
have
just like so crazy.
how to say it, but Chum Ben in Cambodia is in late September to mid-October, honoring ancestors and the deceased. Gai Jatra, I'm probably saying all these wrong, but that's in Nepal. This one's like early September, but it also celebrates the deceased. And it's for encouraging people to just remember the people that have passed. And so it's so interesting that, it's like this time of year. I think
Hmm.
there was one in India as well. I don't have that one written down. I don't know why. Um, but it's not it's like on every
At
continent,
Diwali.
maybe. I'm not sure if that one has to do with the deceased, but I think that is this time of year.
Yeah.
Um, but all in this like, these months and these traditions. And I just think it's so beautiful to have a celebration because I think one of the things that's hard when someone dies is that they're not in your life anymore, but
Hmm.
these celebrations are ways to keep their spirit alive. And so they are still in your life. And I think
Yeah.
that's what I've struggled with my family, where we have a disconnect because they're just kind of like, don't talk about my mom. We don't do traditions for her. We text each other on her birthday. Oh, we text each other. Basically, that's it.
Yeah.
Um, And so that's hard to me. And my family goes, oh, like Sadie talks about mom too much. Oh, she's not over it, whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm mentioning her and bringing up memories, and I'm laughing, and I'm like, that's how you keep somebody alive. Like, why wouldn't we do that? So I think it's so. I don't know if anyone else is in that position where someone close to you has died, and you feel like your family just doesn't connect with you in that way of like where they want to like keep them alive in that way. I just think it's so cool to like, I'm really happy to be here and surrounded by
Hmm.
people that they don't know my mom, but it's just in that energy of people that I can see so much going on in the city. They're putting so much love and care into preparing for it. I'm seeing it all happening. I've been here for over a month now. So from when I was here to now, I've seen just the ofrendas being built and
Yeah.
whatever the businesses are doing it, everything. And just to be in that energy of celebration and it's like keeping like, oh no, they're not gone. Like they're coming to visit us.
Yeah.
And I just believe that so deeply, and Samhain has that aspect to it too of like honoring your ancestors and like ways I like to do that. Now I don't have a framed picture of my mom or any other loved ones that passed, but it's great to just you can make an ancestor altar with like photos or belongings of your loved ones. Like, I like have like some of my mom's jewelry. But if you have cards that they wrote you or
Yeah.
art that was theirs or things they liked to collect or whatever was handed down to you or that you kept from them. And yeah, just like making their favorite foods or their favorite meal or their favorite drink, playing music that they liked to play. Like there's so many different ways. It's just about kind of like I like to think of like what would I do with them or like how would I spend time with them if they were alive and they were sitting with me here? Oh, maybe we would watch the movie that I grew up always watching with my
Yeah.
grandparents. Maybe we would watch that. Like that's a way to like me shaking my computer. That's a way to like honor your ancestors. It's like my elbows on the table. I'm shaking my hands. So it's so fun and it's like such a creative way to connect. But I do always experience this time of year how much like almost like effortlessly you feel connected to them or not a few years ago, but now that I have more experience with that, it's so cool. And I
Yeah.
actually last year hosted a like Samhain, I think I call it the Samhain soiree, and I will make that available so you guys can download it for free. It was just an experience I hosted to like connect with your loved ones who have passed, and it was really powerful and really special and cool. So I will make that available
Love
um,
that.
for you guys to do the meditation and connect. Um, but yeah, it's just I love it. I love it so much. I think it's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
it
And
is so
it's
beautiful.
yeah, and it's a powerful time to connect with deities as well, like anything that's in that like spirit world energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely think it's really meaningful to if you have anyone who you are close to that has passed on, or ancestors maybe you didn't know, but you want to connect to your heritage more. It's really cool. And it's up to you how you want to do it. There's so many things that we've mentioned or you can look up, but like I think the best part about being a witch is like kind of like learning a little, but then following your intuition and getting
Yeah.
creative and like yeah, how do I want to connect with this
Connect.
person? How do I want to celebrate them? So, yeah.
Yeah. It is it is really nice. I think also like you just said deities, and I think a lot of is it chthonic
Yeah.
deities?
Yeah.
Chthonic deities are, at least that's what I've been seeing a lot of. Maybe that's just my For You page, but I just bet. But a lot of chthonic deities are reaching out a lot right now. So it could be like a good time to do that too, especially because we're going into like winter
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, I think it's just like so fascinating to me that all of these places all over the world have the same festival for this
Right.
same day. Um, and they're like ancient
Mhm.
festivals. Like
Mhm.
this is not like a
Yeah.
oh, like we were all like talking to each other and we decided this was the day. Like
Right. This was way before we had internet.
yeah, like and like proper
Thousands,
modes of transportation.
decades.
Like
Yeah.
these are ancient
Right.
festivals because in all like Slavic countries, it's Dziady. I don't know. And it literally translates to like, or I think it's like loosely translated to like grandfathers or forefathers and old men in Polish. And then I'm not sure if this is right. I'm still trying to like read more about it, but in the Ukraine, because I'm Ukrainian also. Um, but it's Velez night, which is he's like the god of the underworld in
Mm.
Slavic paganism. And that's like his day on October 31st. And then Jade is the like Day of the Dead for in like the Slavic countries. And they too did like candles lit on graves. They like
Mhm.
light the hearth in their home to guide the spirits home to them. They have like
Yep.
banquets with family and they leave an empty chair and a plate of food for their ancestors. And then
Yep.
they like and across so many of these, it's like, well, they thought that the spirits of their ancestors would come visit them and they help bring like blessings and protection. And you do these things to like one, honor them and like have them like have a seat at the table so they can like be part of the family and celebrate with you, but then they're also
Mhm.
like bringing protection for you as well. And even like in the like Slavic traditions, it's like um at on the side of the road and at like crossroads, like they would leave like burning offerings because that those were like liminal spaces where
Yep.
spirits would, and they were
Mhm.
like here's the way, like
Yeah.
um
Yeah. So yeah, that's a
yeah.
good so using the elements to sort of like help that connection because if I think we've talked about this before, but if you think about it, like fire is the OG electricity and there's a lot of
Yes, we did
paranormal
talk about
activity
this.
that happens through radio static television things, right? And so that's why in so many traditions, but also in traditions a lot of you leave out water,
Mm-hmm.
you light candles, fire, you burn incense, air. So when you do, if you do make like an ancestor altar, think about how you can involve all of the elements. I mean, I think a great balanced altar has, like, I think that's why crystals are very popular with witches, because that's earth energy.
Mm-hmm.
We like to burn incense or whatever. I mean, you could kind of consider that fire too, but really the smoke is the air.
Yeah.
Or we like to put feathers on our altar. That's air energy. Shells, that's water, or literal like water on the altar, or moon water, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then of course candles. So that's a good thing to kind of like think about if you're building your own altar for Samhain, is keep in mind the different elements, and those elements help the spirits connect to like our realm.
Mm-hmm.
Those sensory experiences help them sort of like find us and connect with us. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's important too.
Yes.
Everyone, go have so much fun if you haven't already built your altar. And it can be so simple. It's like it could be like a picture and a candle or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you get inspired, or maybe you already have one set up, send us a picture. Let us know.
Yes.
We're at Giggly Witches, or at Velvet Snake Oracle, or at I'm Sadie Olson. So to
Mm-hmm.
all of us, we'd love
Yeah.
to see.
Post it or tag us or just send it to us or
Yeah.
we'd
Yeah.
love to see it.
Hmm. Are you gonna do a special ritual on Halloween, Samhain?
I think so. I don't really have like a a good place for an ancestor altar right now. The altar table that I have is like kind of small.
Mm.
So I'm trying to fit everything on there. Um, so I think I'm gonna put it out. I have like an entryway table, but it's not really like at the door, it's kind of like inwards. So I think I'm gonna put it there, and I have a picture of my grandparents. I like don't really know anything about my dad's family, but I would love to like have some photos of them, so I need to find some of them. Um, and I'm trying to like get more in touch with that like Slavic paganism, that whole like side of me. So and their big thing is like putting a white candle in the window. And obviously that is not safe to just leave a candle in your window. We're gonna put that one out there. Practice fire safety. Giggly Witches is not responsible.
I always say, burn at your own risk.
um, so I'll probably do that like I mean, I know it's like technically at nighttime, but I'll probably do that during the day. And then my friend is having a party, so I'm going to
Bye.
Yeah. I'm gonna dress up as Shigo.
Oh, I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
This will be so good.
I told Lady Aphrodite, I was like, here's your chance. I will be doing my green cut crease. If you remember.
Show up with the green cut crease.
Yeah. I was like, this
You
is the
will.
time.
I love it. Yeah, I don't have like an actual Halloween costume, but I am getting my makeup done.
Very
Courtesy of
excited.
my new friend. He was like, like, I was like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Very familiar.
And I get to go do all the Dia de los Muertos stuff, so excited.
Very exciting.
Oh my God. Well, I hope this was helpful to anyone who maybe hasn't celebrated before but was interested in it. Also, like there's so much great information out there. Search
Yeah.
Samhain on TikTok, or you could even ask like ChatGPT. Like you could say, "Hey, I'm a new witch. Give me 5 ideas, simple ideas for celebrating Samhain this year," or something like that. I bet you could get some really good ideas.
Yeah.
But such a tickle in my nose, and I have this makeup on my nose, and I'm like, um, but happy
Cheers.
Halloween, happy Samhain. Say hi to all your ancestors from us. We're grateful for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have a beautiful witchy weekend. Anything else before we hop off?
I don't think so.
Make sure you're following us and
Yeah.
you're subscribed. Giggly Witches is on Spotify and Apple and YouTube. Leave us a review wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube, drop us a comment. Let us know how you're celebrating. And make sure you're following us. We're at Giggly Witches on Instagram and TikTok.
Where can we find you?
Uh, I am at I am Sadie Olson on TikTok. and Instagram. Look at my ears just disappearing and coming back as I nod my head. You can also find Magic with Sadie on YouTube, where I'm doing guided tapping videos, and there's some meditations and some pretty cool magical master classes if you want to learn more witchy stuff. There's a really great abundance spell and I think a love spell on there too.
Mm.
Or maybe not yet. Maybe I was saving that. Anyways, there's spells and stuff. There's classes, there's tappings. It's a great resource. And I got Hot Witch Tarot readings that are so fun. And you can come do with me. And I'm now accepting a couple one-on-one clients. So if you are interested in going very, very deep, this winter is a beautiful time to do this inner work. So I just felt really called to open that option up again. So you can learn about it. It'll be in the link in the show notes. And you can schedule a free call with me if you want to talk about it and see if it's the right fit for you. And we can just talk about what you're looking for and see if I can help with that. So check that out.
Lovely.
What about you, Pam?
You can find me at Velvet Snake Oracle, and I have tarot readings. I should probably put these on my Instagram too. But I have I've been so bad at social media recently. Anyway, I have tarot readings. They are currently 25% off until further notice, but not for long. Not for long.
Not for long.
With code SOS25. Because I'm gonna do a big overhaul of my business and have all new crazy offerings and all the things. But these are really fun tarot readings. I've been having a lot of fun doing them. And that's all, folks.
Thanks, witches. I hope you had fun giggling with us and you have a beautiful, beautiful Halloween, Samhain, Muertos,
The
the above, everything. Bye.
Bye.